What a scam that so many fall for without realizing. I don't know how many actually fall for this, but a friend of mine almost gave away the entire proceeds from her home. She met a guy on a dating app. He said he was shopping for $1 million house and was going to pay cash. After a month or so, he said he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her, and they should buy the house together. He even said that she could pick out the house. They went to an open house for this $980,000 house that she loved. He tells her to sell her house, and they would put the new house in both their names even though her house would sell for like $200,000 and he would pay the rest. Couple days after the open house she sees that the house is under contract and is sad, then he tells her that he went to the listing agent, from open house, and put $100,000 down for it, said he was going to surprise her. She actually listed her house for sale. She told me that he was taking care of all the paperwork and dealing with the title company/closing attorney, and all she had to do was wire the money from her closing to this, out-of-state, title company. I was blown away. She had purchased her home by herself and should have seen the red flags, but she was in love. I tried to convince her, but she was pissed at me. I did convince her to call that listing agent she had met at the open house, and she took her home off the market. I've heard about this going all the way through, and the victim was out all the money. Buying a condo. You pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a condo in a condo tower. You then have to pay rent condo fees, which can be as much as $1,000 per month or more to the condominium company, the real owner. If you don't pay the fees, the condo corporation kicks you out of your condo that you supposedly own. The condo corporation also gets to tell you when maintenance or upgrades are going to be done, and you have to pay for them. You usually have to also pay extra per month for parking. Oh, and if the condo corporation decides they want the land back, you lose your condo, since you don't actually own any property. Anyone who thinks they are actually buying anything with a condo is delusional. At best, you just hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a slight discount in the condo fees, rent, from your condo corporation, your landlord. The biggest scam going that a lot of people fall for without knowing how it works is credit card insurance. Every bank will try and talk you into this, and they will make it sound like it's a life-saving option you absolutely need. Wrong. You pay a fee every month for this insurance, and most people think that if you get injured and are unable to work/make your payments, that the bank will pay off your credit card for you. They purposely are extremely vague with how this works, but I assure you that's not the case. I've talked to several people who thought this was the case, and they've all since canceled their credit card insurance. And boy, does the bank try and talk you out of it. If you are unable to make your minimum payment, the bank will make your minimum payment for you until you are able to again. Basically. So to make this clear, you are making a payment every month, that for many is close to the amount of their minimum payment, so that in the unlikely event you are unable to make your minimum payment, the bank will make it for you. What? Tech support or otherwise other adjacent scams. That or text messages that say that your Netflix or insert other account here subscription has been put on pause. Dead giveaway for those texts when I got them is that it had an email address that had no relation to the company itself. Another one I've seen running rampant recently is a text claiming to come from UPS saying that the driver could not find your address and that you had to pay a fee for redelivery. Actual UPS would never do this. Along with all of that, I'd say another big one is that of pyramid schemes. I fell into that trap myself when somehow someone at my college got someone from World Ventures to come in and explain how they were able to retire much earlier on in life, and after I left that it took a little bit to set in, but eventually got a bad taste in my mouth. Points. Here's a product for $10. Give me $11 instead and I will give you these magical points that you can accumulate and then forget about or lose. I don't care. Of course, no vendor tells you that he has increased the price of the product to cover the expense of points because he knows customer loyalty can be bought with these baubles, points. I have also had people tell me with a straight, serious, convinced expression that points and air miles are absolutely free. They chortle with delight when they use them. In Canada, Canadian Tire used to give coupons worth 4% of your total purchase. That was actually way more valuable than points, though it must be assumed that the principle was the same. We charge you 4% more than give you these magical tokens. Was it P.T. Barnum who said nobody ever went broke, underestimating the intelligence of the American consumer? Here in Brazil, it's common that some random strange number sends you a message on WhatsApp saying it's your son or daughter, even other siblings. They start saying it's a new number, that their phone is broken, and at the assistance to repair, so this strange new number is temporary. Some even say it's a new number because they were robbed, lost the phone, whatever. They ask if you're okay, what are you doing? Trying to make a connection. Then they ask for some money, normally something between 500 and 1,000 because they need to pay some bill, but are facing issues with the bank app, so a friend will pay this bill for them and needs to receive the money first. They do this because obviously it's not the name of your son or daughter that will appear in the receiver info, before you confirm the transfer. A lot of people, mainly old ones who are not used to technology, or started to use it recently, fall for it. My coworker lost $3,000 and only after the transfer she realized what she had done. Then she called her son and obviously it was all a lie. She never recovered this money because it's practically impossible to locate and identify these criminals. So if someone in a strange number sends you messages asking for money because it's facing bank problems, call the original number of your son/daughter or whatever and confirm that is really him. If the phone is really broken and it's a new number, video call them to confirm. Just don't send money without confirmation. I got taken for a ride with a variation of the I'm out of gas scam. Dude in the middle of the night stops me outside a Quick Trip and gives me this sob story about how he was laid off, lost his house a state south of us, and has been driving to Iowa to live with a family member who could help him out and give him a place to stay. Dude brings me over and shows that his car is in fact out of gas, then asks if I have some money to fill him up a gallon or so. He convinces me to use my card instead at the pump. Then he proceeds to keep my attention on him as his car fills up. I gave him 5 gallons, about half a tank in his small car. After I took care of what I was getting, I noticed he had Missouri plates. Yay, fuck you, random guy, for real. I'm normally pretty good at avoiding scams, but I'll admit he suckered me in.